This is going to be a second look at this Hobbyking Swiss J3 Cub 1.4 meter wingspan RC airplane. I think this one flies really nice. It does have this wide wing with a great lift. It's a quite a hefty RC airplane, and it's more heavy than the FMS J3 Cub 1.4 meter wingspan RC airplane. And I actually think that the details on the FMS J3 Cub is much more nicer looking. It does have this red edge instead of this blue one. But nevertheless, this one flies great. It looks kind of good also. So the thing is, Hobbyking rarely have enough spare parts in stock, and that's a really huge problem, especially if you crash. I haven't crashed this one, but I did actually over tighten the prop nut, and the shaft just broke in half. And as I looked at the Hobbyking's web page, you have to purchase the motor to actually get the prop shaft, which is it's really bad because it costs so much more. And what should I do with the spare motor? I think that's a really bad thing, because if you look at parts for FMS RC airplanes, usually they have the most needed parts. You can find them somewhere in the world to order, but this one was just out of luck. So what I did, in my spare box, I found a shaft that comes that actually was taken from a crashed FMS RC airplane. I managed these two parts, the motor and the FMS shaft, to fit together, but then I couldn't fit the prop, so I took this master air screw 3-bladed prop instead and put this one on. So it will be interesting to see how this one flies and take it for a second look in the air, this Hobbyking Swiss J3 Cub.
Time to get this Cub up in the air. In my experience with this one, you have to be careful with throttle and work the rudder to keep it straight on the runway until it takes off. And it's going to be interesting to have this 3-bladed prop on as well. So this flight is on a 4S battery. You can fly this on both 3S and 4S, but I think you should really do 4S to have power to do things. And if you compare this Cub to the FMS similar sized 1400 J3 Cub, the FMS flies more or less as good on 3S as this one does on 4S. So all in all, I think the FMS 1400mm J3 Cub is a better purchase. But still, this one flies great. It's really agile and fun. I think it looks great when you fly it. And apparently this 3-bladed prop works just fine. I can't say that it's really better or worse. I'm not flying this in a scale matter because I like to just toss my RC airplanes around in the sky. But certainly you can just take it easy and do nice scale flying. And then I also think that 3S batteries is more than enough. But I like to fly sport in my RC airplanes. I get a little bit bored when I do longer passes of scale flying. The thing with the all Hobbyking RC airplanes is that many of them flies really nice. They look great also. But then there are just small stupid things with them, like on this one for instance. You have the wheels where you actually have to provide some parts yourself to actually have the wheels work the way they should. And that's my experience on all like Hobbyking RC airplanes, that I mean they're good, but then again there are some stupid decisions just to exclude a part or do something more difficult or just use an odd set of screws. That's why I'm actually a little bit hesitant to purchase these Hobbyking RC airplanes. I mean, if I just compare to like FMS or Horizon Hobby, or even Arrows, I think all of these three, I mean, they're really greatly designed RS airplanes in how you put them together and what parts are included. I mean, I'm not bashing like how they fly, because I think many of these Hobbyking RS airplane flies really fun and great. But when it comes to construction, I mean, it feels like there's a kind of the usual thing with the Chinese constructed things, that you just have a great idea and then you kind of half-ass it some way along the way, instead of just doing it thoughtful and proper all the way. So I mean, there are very few RC airplanes without faults, of course, but I mean, I really wish for Hobbyking to shape up, and especially also have great spare parts in stock, so you could, for instance, just purchase a new motor shaft if you break one. So let's get this one down then. Usually very easy, very smooth. So I mean, it's a great flying RC airplane, this Swiss J3 Cub. But I really think that if you consider a Cub in this size, go for the FMS. You will be much more pleased with it. So I mean, or even the bigger FMS PA18, it's just a fantastic one also. So I mean, that's just some opinions then about this Hobbyking Swiss J3 Cub.